People with street smarts, what is your most street tip? I'm my experience. The first 60 or so seconds of this clip from Atlanta are the most realistic media depiction I've seen of how real life mugging goes down. Link. The distraction throw is something I've seen in real life. Most muggings I've seen, the mugger will hit you in the face with as little warning as possible to throw you off balance and make you compliant. The rules of the road are friendly conversation, to enter their personal space, then an explosion of unexpected violence, then take their stuff. If you've never been mugged, you should know there's not usually people going around telling people I'm mugging you, give me all your stuff or get hurt. They're going to hurt you first and then take all your stuff. If you are walking alone and someone says something to you, it's a good idea to respond politely, but do not stop walking. Allowing a stranger to control your actions with only a word is as good as painting mark right on your forehead. If you stop, you're vastly increasing the likelihood of getting mugged or worse. If they follow you, start running. Don't worry about your pride, run. Allowing a stranger to control your actions with only a word is as good as painting mark right on your forehead. I don't think I've ever understood how I get trapped in crazy conversations before, but I think this explains it somehow. If you're in an argument with somebody and they get in your face and then look away, there's a good chance they are about to try and knock your head off. Keep an eye on their hands too. This might sound obvious, but they start telegraphing their intentions way earlier than swinging an arm, stretching their fingers, or balling and unballing their hands are a not so subtle way of telling you they are planning to take a swing and not just talk shit. Edit. A couple of people pointed out that they do this behavior regularly anyway, and yeah, that's a thing. I've got a wicked case of PlayStation thump from my youth and do it a bit too. Don't punch someone just cause you see them do this. It's really just an indicator that something might be up, not something to act preemptively on. Never talk money on public transportation. And never count money in a parking lot. Never let money see the sun or the stars. Small tip that has proven an excellent habit. Cloudy days, though, let that money out to stretch its legs. Trust your gut. You see people acting normally your whole life. You know what it looks like. If you see something that makes you uncomfortable, there's a reason. Even if you don't know what it is yet. Second this poster. Always trust your gut. Walk with purpose, like you know where you are going, and I never smile. I was walking down the street with a smile and a dude across the street shouted, "The duck you smellin' for?" That was 2011. Haven't smiled in public since. Act like you're in a hurry and less people will want to bother you. Similarly, don't break your stride. If someone comes up to you, don't be rude or aggressive, but don't stop walking. If they want to talk, they will have to walk next to you. It's a hell of a lot harder to casually get in front and in the face of someone who won't stop moving. That said, I give this advice as a 6-foot man with a naturally quick stride, so your experience may vary. Look both ways crossing a one-way street. There may always be one idiot. Same on a green light. If you're walking around a big city and someone walks up to you and asks you your name, or is any way friendly, they're about to try to con you. I'm New York City, where the CD scam is prevalent. Con artist asks you your name. They your name on their hip hop CD, and when you accept the CD they intimidate you to pay for the CD. Just keep walking. Don't even smile at them. Had this happen to me in Times Square. Dude walks up to me and shoves his CD in my hands and autographs it with a Sharpie, all the while being super friendly and trying to get to know me. I enthusiastically take the CD and thank him for it. Then I told him I don't have any cash. Dude just snatches the CD back and walks away. LOL. Look like you know where you are going even when you don't. If you have any misgivings about a particular street or area, go with it. If you do have to walk through an area where you are being scoped, acting like you are insane and barely keeping it makes you not worth the trouble. Don't worry about being polite if approached, but don't be an asshole. If an area smells like piss, no one gives a duck what happens there. Never fall for the "I need $20 for sick kid locksmith medicine tow truck" scam. Never pull out your money or wallet to check it. Even if you put it back, they will know where it is. If you get bumped and feel for your wallet, it's also a cue for a pickpocket. Edit. Use reflections in windows to see behind you and possibly around a corner. I'm glad I grew up in a big city. Traveling around the world was much easier than for others I've seen. You don't owe anybody anything, including conversation. People who want to take advantage of you will usually start by initiating unsolicited conversation. Ignore randoms who try to stop to you or talk to you. Face forward power walk. Don't buy blow from people you don't know or XTC from a guy named Doug at a gas station. No matter how friendly he is, you might end up with flores. I don't know if this is street smarts, but so many people lack situational awareness. By that I mean they are not being fully aware of their surroundings, which has been made even worse with phones and headphones. If you sense anything dodgy, trust that instinct and do something about it. I'd rather cross the street and look paranoid that get mugged, or even just run. This group of guys were following close behind me when I was walking home from the pub alone. They could have just been walking the same way, but as soon as I hit a corner I sprinted 100 meters or so and didn't see them again. I don't care how strong you are losing 99% of the time versus 3 people. This plus minding your own ducking business can do wonders. Keep an eye out, but don't stare. If something feels funny, just confidently and calmly remove yourself from the situation. Give people a nod, like giving a friendly what's up, and keep minding your own business. I usually just say what's up if I'm in a sketchy area I grew up in one. The nod and tone of voice being friendly usually lets people know you aren't a concern. I also worked in the hood, filled with Mexican gangs. I was stocking shelves and said what's up to this giant ass dude with face tats and a big 13 tattooed on his head. I said what's up, bro, and just kept minding my own business. We ending up talking for a good few minutes about what chips were best, but it's the nod and tone, in my opinion, that goes a long way, especially if you're in someone's territory. It's a way of showing respect and recognizing those around you. The head nod doesn't always work abroad. Source: the most pained smile I have ever received on a bus in Germany. 90% of the time, if you don't start trouble, you don't get trouble. That said, the 10% is what you need to focus on. Don't flash money or valuables around in public. Stay alert. If someone tries to start shit, walk away fast if you can. If forced to fight, fight dirty and then get away as soon as you can. Try not to walk around in deserted areas alone, especially at night. Don't hail taxis in the street. Watch your drinks at the bar and keep your wits about you. Yeah. What's the issue with hauling taxis in the street? When visiting a new city, pick a landmark that you can see from anywhere. Maybe it's a big tower in the downtown core. Maybe it's a mountain in the distance. Or the city is on the shore of a lake. Or there's a river or highway that cuts through in a clear and logical way. Great. That's your orientation now. Wherever you go, you're not lost. You have that landmark. Maybe it's further away. Maybe it's closer. But if you know what direction the landmark is, you can't really get turned around. Now take it a step further. As you walk around, pick a landmark in the neighborhood you are moving through. Maybe it's a corner store, or a park, or a prominent intersection, or a house with a funny roof. It doesn't matter. Between the big city landmark and the smaller neighborhood landmark, you're basically triangulated to a pretty narrowly defined area. You can explore with a lot of confidence just by keeping your bearings on which direction your two landmarks are, and if you're moving closer or further away from them. If you're homeless, don't let anyone know where you sleep or where you stash your stuff. It's okay to meet up with a buddy and spend the day with them, and it's okay to trust the staff at the shelter. But from the first day to the last day you're homeless, don't let anyone find your stash of stuff. Once your stash is found, other homeless folks will usually clean it out, or homed people will usually throw your stuff away. Similarly, don't let anyone know where you sleep, and try not to bother anybody. If you bother people, or you consistently sleep in your car somewhere, eventually someone will notice, and that's always a recipe for trouble. Keep safe, keep secret, and keep out of sight. Situational awareness is a must. And that means never let yourself get in a situation you know you'll lose. Meaning, don't go places where the public eye will lose you. It is safer to have multiple witnesses that may help you if anything were to happen. Act like you live wherever you are, like you know the place, like you know exactly where you are going. I use a wheelchair and do this whenever I travel. I figure out where I'm going before I venture out. If I'm lost, I duck into a store or restaurant in order to look at my phone or ask directions. Be focused on the direction you are going and don't act like a ducking tourist. Ironically, I feel much safer by myself when I can act like this instead of when I'm traveling with some clueless friend or relative who has to stop for pictures every 20 feet. I rarely, if ever, get approached for money or anything when I'm by myself. But throw in my dumb Aunt Susan and we are brushing off weirdos all day long. Have an angry conversation with yourself. Nobody will approach you. If someone asks you, "Can I ask you a question?" reply with, "Sorry, I'm in a hurry," or bluntly no. If someone needs something, they will ask you directly. That is, where is the nearest gas station? Can you spare $1? Nothing good comes from random conversation on the street. I don't know if this counts because it's cross culture, but I've been to and been lost in a lot of different countries, including several where they do not advise women to go out alone for non-religious reasons. I'm not messing with those countries. My experience is that if you keep your head up and your face neutral, meet people's eyes if they're looking at you and nod politely to acknowledge you see and respect their space, they'll leave you alone. That said, if you start seeing hostile faces instead of disinterested ones, proceed calmly in a different direction. This is good advice. When I first started martial arts as a little kid, this is something they taught us as one of the first steps in self-defense. By walking with confidence, you're already broadcasting you belong there. And by looking people in the eye face, you let them know that you have memorized their face and can give a description to a police officer if need be. Someone looking down and unaware of their surroundings is a much easier target. Women, don't be afraid of being impolite if you feel threatened. Don't think, "Oh no, I might hurt his feelings," or "Well, that one time I was told I overreact, so maybe this is another one of those times." No. If someone doesn't oppose, they will realize that the situation was misinterpreted. If they're a rapist murderer, they will most likely make a big deal about how they're not going to hurt you. Don't be afraid to make a scene if you're afraid. Don't be afraid of being impolite if you feel threatened. The only issue with that is how sometimes we have to be polite to get away. When cornered, you don't know if being rude is gonna trigger him to get violent. If you can get away, by all means, be rude. But always assess the situation and do what makes you feel safe. Same issue with the idea of why don't you just refuse to give a guy your number. If you're worried the guy you're dealing with is dangerous, you have no idea how they'd react to rejection, but it's likely gonna be not well. Don't take street tips from a bunch of redditors who are most likely sitting on the crapper in their mum's house. Damn, I had a really good tip too. Applies to everyone. Keep your mouth shut and listen. Too many people think too much of themselves. Being straightforward calls that's me, or believing it's your right to speak. The more you speak, the more you expose yourself. Don't put yourself out there and be his target. Smart moffers can use your words against you. Sit back and listen. Pay attention to how everyone act and respond. Give out as little info as you can. Protect yourself.